We will look at finding the asymptote for the rational function. So a given function, constant over linear, we'll see vertical asymptote and horizontal asymptote, and that we will graph. So to talk about the vertical asymptote, sorry. So to talk about the vertical asymptote, I will use the notation VA, and for horizontal asymptote HA. That's what I will use. Now to find the vertical asymptote, what do? We solve the denominator for 0. So vertical asymptote, we set the denominator equals 0 and then we solve it. So if we solve this, we get negative x equals negative 5, but we need to solve for positive x, so we'll divide by negative 1, so x is equal to 5. That's the vertical asymptote. To find the horizontal asymptote, we take the leading term from the numerator and leading term from the denominator, then we simplify it. If x left in the denominator, then the horizontal asymptote is y equals 0, or the x-axis. If x left in the numerator, then no horizontal asymptote. If all x is gone, whatever the constant, y equals that constant value is the horizontal asymptote. Now we will graph. So in Alex, they will give you the graph option. You choose the vertical asymptote option, and then you draw at x equals 5, that vertical line. Then you choose the horizontal asymptote option, and you draw on the top of the x-axis that one. So then you will be done with this question. It's not hard, just once you understand, it's pretty simple. Let's look at another one. Okay, so now this one given linear over linear. Now we will find the vertical asymptote. As I said, for vertical asymptote, we said denominator equals 0, and then we solve it. So x equals 2, that's the vertical asymptote. To find the horizontal asymptote, we take the leading term from the numerator and leading term from the denominator, then we simplify. So we get negative 2. So y equals negative 2 is the horizontal asymptote. Now we will graph. So graph option is given in the Alex. You choose the vertical asymptote line and you graph that at x equals 2. And you choose the horizontal asymptote line and you graph at y equals negative 2. So you will be done with this. The third topic you have on this, finding the horizontal and vertical asymptote of a rational function, either the numerator given quadratic or denominator given quadratic. Let's see. So again, for vertical asymptote, we set denominator for 0 and then we solve it. So there is a greatest common factor. Let's factor out. Then we'll factor the quadratics here. So we'll have x plus 2 is one factor, x plus 1 is another factor. So now if we solve these factors for 0, we get x equals negative 2 from this factor, and from this factor, x equals negative 1. So we have two vertical asymptotes for this one. Now let's find the horizontal asymptote. For horizontal asymptote, we take leading term from the numerator, leading term from the denominator, and we simplify. There is nothing to simplify here, and if x left in the denominator, horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. Then you choose the option for vertical asymptote, and you graph it when x equals negative 2. You graph the vertical asymptote. You graph the vertical asymptote, you choose again, graph the vertical asymptote at x equals negative 1. Then you choose the horizontal asymptote option and you graph on the top of the x-axis because it is y equal to 0. I think I prepared another example. So let's find the vertical asymptote and horizontal asymptote. Vertical asymptote, as you know, we set denominator for 0 and then we solve it. So we can factor this one as x plus 2 times x minus 2. So for this factor, we get x equals negative 2 is the one of the vertical asymptote. And from here, we get x equals positive 2. That's another vertical asymptote. And for the horizontal asymptote, leading term on the numerator is 3, in the denominator is x squared, and x left in the denominator. Therefore, horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. So if you graph this one, at x equals negative 2, you will have one vertical asymptote. At x equals positive 2, you have a vertical asymptote. And on the top of x-axis, you will have the horizontal asymptote. Hope this helps you. Thank you.